expectations for you have been incredibly high from like your debut as a professional, and it took kind of a winding road to get here, right? What has that journey been like for you? Was it frustrating along the way that maybe you didn't get here as soon as maybe some people thought you would?
Yeah, I think, when you're kind of born into it and you have a lot of like hype or whatever, a lot of time you get fed guys and you have a very easy path to get here. And then once you get here, you get exposed. So I'm very grateful to be brought up in a promotion like LFA where I haven't had any easy fights. I've had some tough losses that I've come back from. And ultimately, they've gotten me here in the exact right time. And I feel like those lessons are behind me. I don't need to learn those lessons anymore. There might be some new ones, but as far as I'm concerned, I belong here and I'm here to stay.
Awesome. You had maybe about as much support as any fighter I've ever seen on Contender Series tonight. Were you able to sense that and soak that in at all, or were you just so dialed in that you couldn't feel it?
Oh yeah, 100%. I tried to stay as present as possible. So as they're actually, I guess, contra the Vaseline or whatever, I'm looking around, I'm locking eyes with a bunch of my friends and whatnot. So it was cool to be able to have so many people here, and I'm just grateful to, when you show love, you get love back. So I've just been trying to do that my entire life, and tonight was just kind of one of those moments where it all kind of came together for me.
Awesome. I'm sure you're kind of moving on instinct at the moment. Can you remember what was going through your head as you've got a dazed opponent with his hands down in front of you and you're rushing towards him trying to land that kill shot? Do you remember what was going through your mind at that moment?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm a jiu-jitsu guy, right? That's what I've been growing up doing, but I put a lot of time and effort in my striking, and in that moment, I've actually been there before in one of my other fights, and I kind of took a second and sort of like didn't seize the moment right away. So as soon as I saw him dazed, I was like, oh, we gotta go. And I ran in through the overhand that I've been working on this entire camp, got the win.
That's awesome, great highlight. Last thing for me, like you said, this is kind of a lifelong journey. Do you have a dream scenario and how the debut unfolds, whether it be a location, an opponent, a date? I mean, is there anything that this would be perfect as the way it's supposed to go?
Honestly, like I'm down for whatever. I'm from Los Angeles, so I would love to fight in my city of Los Angeles. I think there's a card there in January, but I'm literally in camp all year. I'm training every single day. I keep my weight right on point, so the UFC doesn't have to worry about that. You give me a call, I'm going to show up and I'm going to perform.
Sorry, right here, John Paul. So you've been a force since moving up to 170 pounds. That loss to Jacoby Cho, as you said, it kind of changed a lot of things for you, changed the way you approach things. Talk about the changes that you made following that loss in your mentality.
Yeah, so when I fought for the LFA title, there was quite a lot of factors that led to the result that I got. One of them being cutting to 155 pounds. It was a brutal cut, and I had no mental energy left for the fight. My whole goal was to make weight. So once I made weight, it was like, there's nothing left for me mentally or physically. I didn't really care about the fight. And then the other thing was that fight ultimately led me to my team that me and my best friends have created called the Cobra Team. It's a group of 5 of us, and we're all professional fighters. And that sort of changed my sort of relationship with the sport and with fighting, because it went from being like this thing that I dread to do to this thing that I love to do, because I get to do it with my buddies, and we all corner and coach each other. So that was a big turning point for me in my journey in mixed martial arts. I really fell in love with the game once we sort of banded our team together.
So coming into this fight, it seems like you really are a guy that likes to capture the moment, and just really get the most out of the moment that you can. 9 wins, 7 first-round finishes. Now you've got another first-round finish here tonight. It was kind of a highlight reel KO, massive head kick win. Did you kind of envision that before this fight? It feels like you were going to come out here, look to make that statement. You said you were a submission guy, but I never really felt like you were going to use your jiu-jitsu in this fight. It felt like you were going to come out here and try to make a statement with that KO. Am I right?
Yeah, I definitely fall in love with my hands and my feet. Every fight starts on the feet, so I'm going to try my best to finish it there. And if it goes to the ground, I'm more than capable to finish anybody in the world. I think tonight was just a confirmation of, I'm not just a jiu-jitsu guy. Can't say that anymore. I'm a well-rounded, polished martial artist, and I'm here to compete with the best guys in the entire world.
Your father has been an integral part of your fighting background and just your journey to this point. Talk to me about him. I know he was with the Gracies for a little bit, and you've gotten experience being trained from him, being trained from the Gracies. What is the impact that your father's had on getting you to this point?
Yeah, my father is my foundation. He started me in the sport. He had a dream, and he pretty much started me on this, gave me this dream, and now I've gotten to where I am now. But I'm grateful that he forced me into this sport. I wanted to play basketball and mess around, but he was very hard on me at a very young age, and that led me to where I am now. Obviously, I'm doing this on my own now. It's my dream as much as it's our dream. But I'm grateful, very grateful for my father, and I'm proud to wear his last name on my back. But in the same breath, behind the scenes, my mom and my stepdad have been supporting me along the way, and if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here right now either.
Right over here. Before the fight, we watched the video package where they showed you probably earlier this week talking to the camera, and you said something like you're going to teach them a lesson. It was all humble, very confident, but my main question is, I could tell how confident you were before the fight on that video, especially. I wrote it down, very, very you said in that video. So how confident were you that tonight would be your night and you'd be up here with a UFC contract by the end of it?
It's a good question. I feel like fighting is like a wave of being confident, being insecure, and you just have to ride that wave. You have to speak what you think into existence and back yourself 100%. But in terms of confidence, I feel like, more than confident, I was present. I tried to be as present as possible, backstage, walking out, getting the Vaseline in the cage. I was just in the moment as much as possible. And I think the confidence follows. So, yeah.
And lastly, a night like tonight is very rewarding for yourself, but when you take a look at the bigger picture, you think about your coaches, your father, everyone who helped you, your whole support system, what does it mean for you to bring back this victory to all of them tonight?
I feel like my role in this is to lead the way. I want to lead the way for my friends, for my team, for my coaches, and to represent them as best as I can, and to show them, what it's like to fight at the Apex and the Contender series. I have teammates that are younger than me that are on the come up as well. So to be able to sort of expose them to this experience before they have to do it themselves, it means the world to me. I'm the first of many, so be ready. Cobra Team's coming.
Thank you, man. Congrats.
When you speak about Cobra Team, obviously not as big as other gyms in terms of roster size. So how do you think that dynamic compares to a gym maybe perhaps that has a big number of people and training in and out?
Yeah, I've been with big teams, and I've learned that it's not as important as you think. It's not about the quantity or how hard the training and the rounds are. It's about the quality and using our minds and our collective skill sets to game plan for specific opponents, and that's something that the Cobra Team has mastered. We have a lot of specialists in there, along with our coach Mateus and my wrestling coach Jesse Doyle. We put all of our minds together and collectively come up with a game plan, and I believe with that, we can beat anybody in the world. The copy paste, big gym thing it works for some people, but not for me.
Sure. Last one for me. You spoke a little bit about LFA and how good they've been to you. We see LFA, talk about all these guys that have been through their stage before, making it big time in our sport. So what would it mean for you to be, maybe the next guy they talk about in a couple of years, headlining, hey, he was here with us first.
Yeah, that would mean the world. LFA does these posts where they say so and so, welcome to the UFC, and I've been seeing those, my whole career. So I'm hoping that I get one of those, and I can be, one of their fighters here in the UFC. But yeah, I'm super grateful for them. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be in this position. I wouldn't be as prepared as I am right now.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
JP, Alex Armenian Armenian Sports News. You spoke with our Manuka Kopian about your Armenian heritage. What can you say about your Armenian heritage, and what do you have to say to your Armenian fans on a night like tonight?
Yeah, I'm half Armenian, but born here in the United States. So I'm very proud to represent both sides of my heritage, and looking forward to getting to know my fans and to grow together.